Imagine a small, sleepy town with just one stoplight where everyone knows everyone. This was Star City, West Virginia, the birthplace of Skylar Neese. Born in February of 1996 to Mary and Dave Neese, Skylar was an only child, the apple of her parents' eyes, the epitome of a perfect child. She was a bright spark, excelling in her studies and radiating a loving, respectful, and remarkably humorous personality. The Neese family led a simple life in Star City, a quaint town with a population of just 1,800. Dave was employed at the local Walmart, while Mary worked at a medical office. Their small family was tight-knit, with Skylar at the center of their world. When Skylar was just 3 years old, she met her best friend, Morgan Lawrence. Their bond was instant and inseparable. Growing up together, their parents even considered the other girl as an extra daughter. Skylar and Morgan made a pact that they would always be there for each other, promising to be the head bridesmaids at each other's weddings. As Skylar transitioned into her teenage years, she enrolled at Morgantown's University High School. With her bubbly personality, she fit in right away. However, high school brought changes. Her relationship with Morgan started to drift apart. But as one door closed, another opened. A girl named Sheila Eddy, whom Skylar had known for a few years, stepped in to fill the void left by Morgan. Skylar and Sheila became inseparable. They were two peas in a pod, two sides of the same coin. But as the saying goes, change is the only constant. Little did anyone know that the idyllic childhood was about to take a dark turn. As Skylar transitioned into high school, her relationship with Morgan grew distant. But another girl, Sheila Eddy, filled that space. High school years can be transformative, and for Skylar, this was no exception. A new friendship blossomed with Sheila Eddy, and later with a new girl named Rachel Schoaf. Skylar's once inseparable bond with Morgan Lawrence had somewhat drifted apart as they started high school. However, this void was soon filled by Sheila Eddy, a friend Skylar had known for a few years. Their bond was as strong as it could get, almost making them inseparable. Then came Rachel Schoaf, the red-haired girl with dreams of Broadway. She was the new girl in school, and soon enough found herself in the company of Skylar and Sheila. The trio quickly became a tight-knit group, referring to themselves playfully as the Three Musketeers. As their friendship grew, so did their memories and shared experiences. They spent countless hours together, whether it was studying, shopping, or just hanging out. The bond that they shared was unique, each one bringing something different to the group. Skylar with her bubbly personality, Sheila with her wit, and Rachel with her dreams of Broadway. The sophomore year was coming to an end, and with it came the anticipation of summer. Skylar, who had just turned 16, was thrilled to be working at Wendy's. She loved her job and was excited about spending the summer with her friends, free from the stress of school. The small town of Star City was buzzing with the warmth of the sun, and the air was filled with the promise of a summer filled with laughter, fun, and memories to be made. Skylar was ready for it, ready to create memories that would last a lifetime with her two best friends. As the summer of 2012 began, Skylar was looking forward to a carefree time with her friends, unaware of the storm that was brewing. On the 5th of July, 2012, Skylar Neese vanished. Her bedroom was empty, her parents were worried, and her friends, well, they had a story to tell. Skylar's father, Dave, had made plans to have lunch with his only daughter, but when he walked into her room, she was nowhere to be found. His heart pounded in his chest as he dialed his wife, Mary's number, hoping she would have an answer. She suggested Skylar might be out with friends, swimming or shopping perhaps. But Dave couldn't shake off an unsettling feeling that something was wrong. He called Skylar's friends, including her best friend Sheila Eddy, but no one had seen Skylar. His concern deepened when he noticed a small bench tucked underneath Skylar's bedroom window, a clear sign that she had snuck out the previous night. Dave left a message on Skylar's phone, urging her to call him back, but there was no response. He called about 10 more times, only to be met with silence. Mary tried to stay calm, reminding Dave that Skylar was due for a shift at Wendy's at 4 p.m. Their responsible daughter never missed a shift, so they decided to call Wendy's later to confirm that she had arrived. But they never got that chance. Instead, they received a call from Skylar's workplace asking why she hadn't shown up. As panic began to take over, another call came in. This time it was from Sheila, Skylar's best friend. She confessed that she, Rachel Schoaf, and Skylar had snuck out the previous night. Mary asked where her daughter was, but Sheila claimed Skylar had insisted they drop her off at the end of her street. Skylar was missing. Her friends were the last to see her, and her parents were desperate for answers. When a child goes missing, every second counts. The search for Skylar Neese had begun. The disappearance of Skylar Neese, a beloved teenager from the small town of Star City, sent shockwaves through the community. It was a sleepy town that saw little to no crime, let alone a missing child case. Local law enforcement was immediately involved, with the Star City Police Department spearheading the search efforts. The police, along with Skylar's desperate parents, began retracing her last known steps. From her job at Wendy's to her close circle of friends, everyone was questioned. The local Walmart, where her father Dave worked, was scoured for any potential leads. The small bench tucked underneath Skylar's bedroom window was the only tangible clue pointing to the fact that she had snuck out. But to where, and with whom? As the investigation unfolded, the community rallied together, their collective anxiety growing. Flyers with Skylar's face were plastered all over town, on every lamppost and business window. Social media was flooded with pleas for any information regarding her whereabouts. Vigils were held, prayers were said, and the sense of unease was palpable. The police worked around the clock, following every lead, no matter how small. Yet the investigation was proving to be frustratingly slow. There were no signs of a struggle, no evidence of foul play, and no indication of where Skylar could have gone. Her close friends, the self-proclaimed Three Musketeers, were also at a loss, offering little information that could help in finding Skylar. The town was on high alert, the tranquility of Star City shattered by the mystery of Skylar's disappearance. Parents held their children a little tighter, the usual carefree laughter of the town's youth replaced by hushed whispers and worried glances. The initial excitement of the investigation gradually gave way to a grim reality. As the days turned into weeks, the urgency of the search efforts began to wane. Yet Skylar's parents, Mary and Dave, refused to give up. They held on to the hope that their daughter would be found, safe and sound. But as each day passed with no sign of Skylar, the hope of finding her safe and sound was dwindling. In any investigation, the truth is paramount. But what happens when the truth is shrouded in lies and deception? As the search for Skylar Neese intensified, so did the scrutiny of her closest confidants, Sheila Eddy and Rachel Schoaf. The duo had initially maintained their innocence, spinning a tale of a late-night joyride that ended with Skylar demanding to be dropped off at the edge of town. However, inconsistencies began to emerge in their accounts, and what was once perceived as innocent teenage rebellion started to look suspiciously like guilt. The two girls seemed to be sticking to a rehearsed story, their narratives echoing each other a little too perfectly. Yet, when questioned separately, cracks began to appear. Details were forgotten, timelines were muddled, and their accounts of that fateful night began to diverge. When confronted with their inconsistencies, Sheila and Rachel's reactions were not those of worried friends, but rather of individuals with something to hide. They became defensive, evasive, and their once solid friendship began to show signs of strain. And then, there were the whispers, hushed conversations, and rumors that swirled around the small town of Star City. Rumors that implicated the two girls in Skylar's disappearance. The investigation took a turn. The police, once focused on locating a possible runaway, now had potential suspects in their sights. Skylar's parents, Dave and Mary, were left reeling. The girls they had welcomed into their home, girls who they had considered as second daughters, were now under suspicion. As the lies unraveled, the town held its collective breath. The carefree summer days were replaced with a growing unease. The image of the Three Musketeers, once a symbol of youthful friendship, now cast a dark shadow over Star City. Skylar was still missing, and her best friends were now under the microscope. Sometimes the truth is stranger and more horrifying than fiction. The truth about Skylar Neese's disappearance was about to come to light. As the days turned into weeks, the frantic search for Skylar Neese continued. But the case took a chilling turn when one of the Three Musketeers, Rachel Schoaf, shattered the silence with a shocking confession. Rachel, the red-haired girl with Broadway aspirations, walked into the police station on her own accord. The room fell silent as she began to recount the gruesome details of that fateful July night. Skylar wasn't missing. Skylar had been murdered. The revelation was a gut punch, a brutal blow to everyone who knew and loved Skylar. Rachel described how she and Sheila Eddy, Skylar's so-called best friend, had conspired to kill Skylar. They planned it, carried it out, and had been living with their secret for months. The authorities listened in disbelief as Rachel detailed the chilling plot. The girls had lured Skylar into the woods under the guise of a night out. There, they stabbed their friend to death and left her body hidden under branches and debris. The betrayal was unimaginable. The two girls Skylar had called her friends, her musketeers, had taken her life in the most brutal way. It was a plot so sinister, so heartless, it defied belief. In the wake of the horrific revelation, the small town of Star City was left reeling. A pall of somber disbelief hung over the community as they struggled to comprehend the shocking circumstances of Skylar Neese's death at the hands of her closest friends. The wheels of justice began to turn swiftly. Sheila Eddy and Rachel Schoaf were arrested and charged with Skylar's murder. The trial, a grim spectacle that held the town in its grip, revealed the depth of their betrayal. Their chilling lack of remorse and the cold-blooded nature of their crime sent shivers down the spines of all who heard the details. Rachel pled guilty to second-degree murder, receiving a sentence of 30 years in prison. Sheila, after initially pleading not guilty, eventually changed her plea to guilty of first-degree murder and was sentenced to life in prison. The verdict brought little comfort to a community still grappling with the monstrous act perpetrated by two of its own. In the aftermath, the Neese family was left to navigate a world forever altered by the loss of their beloved daughter. They found solace in the outpouring of support from their community and beyond, and channeled their grief into advocacy, pushing for changes in the law to ensure other families would not have to endure the same agonizing wait for answers. The impact of Skylar's tragic story rippled beyond the borders of Star City. It sparked a nationwide conversation about trust, betrayal, and the hidden dangers that can lurk beneath the surface of seemingly perfect friendships. Schools across the country implemented programs to raise awareness about the signs of potential danger in relationships among teenagers, in a bid to prevent a similar tragedy from happening again. As the years pass, the memory of Skylar Neese remains etched in the heart of Star City. Her story serves as a painful reminder of a loss that shook a community to its core, and the enduring power of friendship turned sour. It's a narrative that continues to resonate, a chilling testament to the depths of human betrayal and the ultimate cost of trust. Skylar Neese's tragic story serves as a chilling reminder of the depths of human betrayal and the ultimate cost of trust.